Us now in Chicago, Illinois, criminal defense attorney who represents Jussie Smollett, Tamara A. Walker. Tamara, of course, lovely to have you back on with us to help break this down. Tell me, as a defense attorney, first of all, what do you think when you see an interrogation video of your client that they play during court?
You know, that's generally not a good thing, because if they're showing it, they want to show it for something negative that came out. So let me just say this, though, about interrogation rooms, and this is something that people need to know. Interrogation rooms are often kept cold. It's a police strategy. They want people talking. So they'll keep a person there, isolated for a long period of time. Like I said, it's often cold. People often go to sleep. They're there for hours sometimes before detectives even show up for questioning. So all of this starts to play onto a person's mentality.
It is interesting to hear that, because if you're not familiar in any capacity with the criminal justice system, you may not realize that. And things that you hear about, oh, they may make them wait a little too long before they say, oh, do you need something to drink? Or, oh, do you need to go to the restroom? So knowing that and having that premise, as you watch the defendant, in this case, accused of murdering both of his parents and dismembering him, and we know that happened to the parents. This is the person who's now accused of it. Did you find, were you suspicious at all of any of what he said or how he said it?
I will say this, even with the disorientation that can come with being in an interrogation room, it is extremely unusual that you see someone lose their place in their account of what happened. I mean, you know, my grandmother always told me the truth is the truth, no matter what, no matter where you are. And even if you're recounting to police under stressful circumstances, even if you've been in that room for a number of hours, you know, the truth is the truth. So that definitely is something that I see that the prosecution, I'm sure, will focus on in court.
And I think the reality, too, of any trial, when we talk about rules of evidence and strategy by a prosecution, that they really want to take the time to present every piece of evidence that contradicts anything and everything that that defendant said in that room. Is that a strategy that you've seen employed?
Oh, absolutely. And you know, in the profession, we call it impeachment, where you are contrasting a witness's testimony in court with testimony that was given prior, whether that testimony, or sometimes it's even questioning. Like in this instance with Halderson, it's police questioning, but oftentimes it could be at a prior hearing. It could be with grand jury testimony in the case of witnesses. It could be a number of different proceedings. Anytime that person's testimony contrasts from what they're saying in court, obviously you're going to bring that up, because that indicates that the person either wasn't being truthful with the previous questions or testimony, or they're not being truthful in court now. You know, it's funny, on the Smollett case, I actually cross-examined the older brother, and I had about 8 different times where I was able to contrast his testimony in court with what he had said previously, and that always makes for a dramatic questioning, dramatic series of occurrences in court. That's always a good time.
And I think the jury doesn't miss that, because 8 times, if you have contradicting testimony 8 times, the next question becomes, what else have they lied about? And let's just talk a little bit about trial skills, because it's near and dear to my heart. And in trial skills, we know one of the things you don't want to do, or at least they teach us not to do in trial, is to ask why. So once you get the contradicting statement out through that witness, you never want to say, well, why did you say that? Or why did you do that? Have you? Because then if you watch that happen, you can see them give a plausible explanation, and then there your successful impeachment goes down the drain.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today. We're going to continue our discussion. Coming up next, we want to talk about the accused Oxford High School shooter